Will it not let you show your camera, Chip?
Huh?
Will it not let you show your camera? We're live, by the way, in case you can't see it.
Well, it will, but you're gonna be looking up a hairy nose
Yeah, hairy nose.
because the camera's laying on my lap.
I would love to say there's something that they make that fixes that, but then I have to hear the story about your hairdresser.
I have more of a face made for radio anyway.
Face
That's
for radio.
true. On Mondays, I think everyone has a face for radio.
Yeah, happy Mondays.
Where's the rest of our crew?
It's a little early. I don't know. Dee was doing something with her car.
I'm
we
here.
had some Tough Tuck and then chickens. But yeah, Drew and I. And we're ready or not. We don't get the luxury of pausing our camera. So.
Yeah, I need the excuse of driving.
Mm-hmm. But at least you can drive and talk at the same time as long as you don't like swear. Because have you ever talked to Chip while he's driving?
No.
He is
That's why we're on the Atomic Blonde show and not the regular one.
Yeah, I learned words from Chip when I've been on the phone with him driving that I didn't even know.
We'll listen to Chip's road rage.
Mm-hmm. He has a lot. Why are you so angry when you drive, by the way? Not really the topic this morning, but you are super angry. You're an angry driver.
Well, people are idiots, that's for sure.
But don't you think they think that about you then?
What's
Like
that?
everyone says that. Everyone says all the drivers are idiots. So what driver isn't?
That's true. We all are.
Right? Like I'm always like, who's that one that like you should put a bumper sticker? I'm not that bad driver. I'm the only one that isn't the idiot. Or I don't know. Like
I feel like everybody has an idiot day or two in there. But there are some people that drive just like completely stupid every time.
Well, that's true. And they're mostly men. But
Oh yeah, men are the ones with the rat reputations for driving.
I was gonna say, I wondered how long it would take Chip to join in on that one.
I was gonna say every bad driver this weekend happened to be a woman. That was weird. That I was stuck behind.
Okay, well, there's tomorrow's topic then.
I don't recall Drew and I running over a boulder trying to drive us off a cliff.
Yeah, that's true.
My gosh.
Thank God for that boulder.
Tomorrow's topic, but today's topic
It saved our lives.
Whatever. You guys are so ridiculous. No, I wanted to talk about the weekend because what is your ideal weekend? I was thinking about this weekend that if you could pick an ideal weekend, it's not a vacation, it's just a weekend. What would that be?
Ideal weekend?
Yeah. What's your ideal weekend?
No plans. Be able to do whatever you want to do.
Does it have to be a vacation? What if I want to lay on the Riviera and drink margaritas?
Then that's a vacation. I'm just talking a regular weekend, Friday at like 6 until Monday at 7.
No, I can borrow the private jet from Big Daddy, so it's just a little weekend.
There you go.
You're home. There's no private jet. You're home. But what does that ideal weekend look like? Because I feel like I'm either first of all, I have no concept of time. I've decided. I know everyone else has figured that out a long time ago. But I have no concept of time. Like I think something's going to take X and it never takes the time I think it's going to take. So I always overcommit or over expectation of what my weekend is going to do.
I think they go too dang fast. That's the problem with 2-day weekends is they just go to your point. Like you have an agenda or you have something you want to get done. Next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock on Sunday night.
Right.
It's already over.
And I'm up. I'm not a sleeper in on the weekends.
Right.
I'm up at the same time on Saturday and Sunday that I am Monday through Friday. Still not enough time.
My body has a biological clock that gets me up.
Yeah. Like I'm up at the same time. So it doesn't matter. Like I'm literally, if I want to go out to eat, I'm waiting for restaurants to open because like hours.
Yeah, okay, I'm not up that early.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not up that early.
What time do you get up, Chip?
6:30.
Okay. Drew, are you still
5?
Yeah. I tried 4:30 to just get up and I did it for like a week. And then 5 o'clock tends to be a little easier for me than 4:30, but I really want to get to 4:30. So I'm trying.
Yeah. I'm a little bit earlier during the during the work week, but definitely like on the weekends, still 5. But to your point, like I said, I even when I get up at that time, I feel like it's a constant run around, or some of it's my doing because I have so much stuff I want to do in the morning. But yeah, I just want to. My ideal is no plans and let me try to sleep a little bit longer, and then just not stress about things. I feel like my weekends are always running. Like this weekend was like between me or training and sports and kids and weeds and yard work and pools and all kinds of stuff. It just was like it was a weekend.
And I'm with you, Drew. I mean, I usually work a lot of weekends. So to me, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're all the same day. I still go to work.
Yeah.
I tend to be either I don't want any plans, or I want them to be either like errand plans or something. I'm getting my nails done, or I got to go to my hated place, Costco, Chip's home away from home. That's a freaking nightmare on the weekends.
That's where heaven's at.
It's a nightmare anytime to go to Costco. And then I was at the grocery store today and I was looking for.
You go during Bronco games.
Yeah, Bronco games are key.
Oh, okay. But still, like, there's so many people. So I was at the grocery store early this morning and I found a protein shake that is pre-made, that's pretty decent, that I don't have to do myself when I'm in a hurry. So I thought, well, that's good. So I went to go get it and I like the cafe latte and they didn't have any. So now I had to like venture out of a flavor. And this guy walks up and he's like, you know where you can get these? Costco. Oh, thanks, genius. Thanks for that.
Or Amazon. One of the two.
Yeah, he's like, you can get these at Costco. Then why are you picking them up here, brilliant man? Why are you here at 6 on a Sunday morning picking these up if you can go to Costco?
Maybe he ran out.
It's like shit. Every time you say something, he's like, oh, you can get that at Costco. Yeah, along with like 800 pounds of potatoes I'll never use. But
not to get us on a different topic, but all those years of working on a 410 split, that's where like I found that I used my first day off was like that kind of cool errands day or get your appointments done, doctor's appointment done, whatever it is. Then you feel like you actually had 2 full days off. Like it was like whatever. Mine weren't always Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They could have been middle of the week or the other side of the weekend, but it still let kind of you have 3 days to get stuff done versus the 2 day off is always that struggle. I think for most people is it just goes so dang fast. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I literally still put we bought a big ass pool for the kids and it's one of those, to your point, my mind was like, oh, we have plenty of room for that. And it's taking up my whole patio because it's a 12-foot round pool. And so I was still out there till
and did it take like 3 times what you thought it was going to take?
Well, not like 3 times, but I thought the patio was bigger than it was. I mean, so I fit it, but I basically had to move everything down.
No time to do it. Like, did you budget? Yeah. Like I always budget. Yeah. Like I budget. Like I go, take an hour, and then literally 3.5 hours later, and I'm like, how did I not think this was going to take? I'm smart. Why did I not? I cannot budget time to save my life.
Yeah, I was still putting it together at 7:45 p.m. last night. But I started, to your point, after 4 because I was doing yard work and weeds all day. And I know it takes a while because you got to fill it, but it was just I've never had.
You don't have to stand there when you fill it. It's the concept of I bet you didn't budget the moving all of the stuff and how long it took to set it up.
Well, no, you at one point, like it's one of like the soft edge ones, so you have to, as you're filling it.
If you drink too much and you put your head back, you're not gonna like.
Yeah, it's not a hard-sided one, but
that's what Chip needs. Not for drinking too much, just for falling down. He needs the soft-sided one.
But to your point, the disadvantage of that I totally forgot because I hadn't put one up that big in a while is that when you're filling it, you have to spread the base out to get all the wrinkles. That's right, out. Wrinkles are bad, so you got to get all them out. So that took a while, but. It was a weekend.
That's what Chip's.
That's what poor Sarah's face woman says. It takes a while to get those wrinkles out.
It's gonna take a while. We gotta press that out. So
I underestimated. We'll be here for 4 hours now.
Well, I did, and so I was gonna I know Chip. You tend to like the yard work part, and I like being outside and being in my yard, but I was going to weed my garden, and my garden isn't like a normal size garden. It's ridiculous size. And so I thought I'll just go out in the morning when it's cool. I'll weed it. I had literally no concept of time. And then like 4 hours later, I'm like not even done. And I go to stand up and it's like I did 8 million squats. My legs are shaking. I'm like, oh my God. So then I go in and I get some coffee, and then I go right to the chicken coop project, which I thought was going to be up like that. I'm like, how hard
No
can that be?
way.
Oh my God, up and down on the ladder 8 million times, and the ground's uneven, and I've got these turkeys that will not leave my side when I'm outside. So they're right underneath me all the time. And it was just, and then of course you have to go to the hardware store 500 times.
Yep.
Well, that's a nightmare. And then everyone is out buying like their plants and their, I don't know. And half of these people, honestly, I mean, just not to be rude, but I cannot see them actually doing physical labor. I don't know who's planting it when they get home, but it's not them.
That also is an advantage when your weekend falls in the middle of the week. Like, I know that sounds like an oxymoron to people, but when I had days off in the middle of the week, it was unbelievable. Like, you go to any store and it was like, holy crap, there's nobody around. To your point, you go to Home
That would be
Home
nice
Depot,
for
and nobody
you,
was
but
there.
then like no one else is available. You're like, let's have a barbecue on a Tuesday night. It's my Saturday. And everyone's like, I got to work in the morning. I'm not going to a barbecue on a Tuesday.
You act like I'm hosting barbecues or something. I mean, come on.
That would require Drew to have friends, first of all.
Right, Jeff? Right?
That's right.
Now, I'm like, how many times can you go to Home Depot, right? And the poor man, like the third time I was there on Saturday, I mean, literally, he's like, oh, it's you again. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's me again.
That's why I don't like. I'm not a quote unquote handyman because I'm that one that does like 15 trips instead of just planned it the first time.
Well,
Then
yeah,
you
and
get
they
mad at
hate
your
to see-
project.
They hate to see me coming because I'm like, it's that roundy, curvy thing. 'Cause I don't know what anything is called.
right. Well, and then I love so I needed, I don't even know what they're called, but I needed not a 90-degree angle. I needed like a 45-degree angle metal, like I would call it a trusset, but I'm not sure that that's right, for the roof, the pitch of the roof that wanted something more secure than just wood on wood. I wanted metal in there for
Sounds like you're at
stability.
my place this
Yeah,
weekend.
what on?
I needed a little stability, right? So I'm asking the guy, I'm like, so I need something like this. Doesn't have to be exactly like this, but I need not a 90-degree angle. Do you have like a 45 or something less, or something I can bend because it was too thick? And
This is going all different.
She has never
directions.
said
Yeah.
that before.
Never
right,
said
right?
that.
It's just too thick. I can't bend it. And so then he goes, well, no, I only have a right angle. Okay. It's like ordering a Starbucks when you go into that store. I swear, I'll go, can I get a Venti Americano? You want an Americano in a Venti size? Yeah, I think that's exactly what I said. So then I'm like, isn't a 90-degree angle a right angle? Why didn't you just say 90? I already said 90-degree. Why do you have to correct me like I'm a moron in the store that it's, well, no, we only have right angles, ma'am. Oh, okay. You're more smart than me because you said right instead of 90. What? And then I go, well, do you have it anywhere else? Well, maybe in the hardware section, but I just, let me think. And then he stood there like, I'm like, I don't have time for your thinking skills. I got to get back and do my project. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. I'm like, I just, never mind. So I bent it with a hammer and it was fine. But still, like, some of them are very helpful. Like the old men are very nice at Home Depot. They're very sweet. They want to tell you 8 million stories that I think one time back in 1910, when I built a shed, you know what I did with this redwood? No, sir, I don't know. I just want my part so I can leave. And then the young ones, I feel like don't know anything.
That happened to me yesterday. So it's funny. I went to Ace Hardware, not to call out all these stores for free, but I had the same issue. I'm trying to get.
That doesn't need a call out because I don't know what they even have. They never have what you need at that store. But
mine actually is pretty packed. It has. I actually go there versus Home Depot.
Yeah,
I was going to say a
Depot's
good
are-
Ace you shouldn't have a problem with.
that and Tractor Supply. Every time I go there, they're like, "Oh, we don't carry that." Of course you don't. I don't know what you do here. Then, do you have a tractor? Have you ever seen a tractor at Tractor Supply? Not once. Saying. All right, go ahead. So you went to Ace.
No, I'm just saying. I think mine's smart because the Home Depots are pretty far out of reach for where I live in the West Arvada area over here. You're driving pretty far for Home Depot versus down the street. But anyways, I go there and I'm looking for, and anybody out there, I'm still looking for a solution because this thing didn't even work yesterday. Yeah, because it's all I'm trying to do is get barbecue grill grease off of it spilt on my concrete, and then some got on my Trex on my deck. And so I'm trying to find something that will remove that. And to your point, like I don't like asking people for help for that because it turns into let me, like you said, tell a story or let me find it or I don't know.
Right?
Well, I finally quit. I couldn't find it. And then I asked, and it took 2 of them to even find a solution that took 15 minutes. So it was like they're walking all over the store and like radioing each other and trying to ask. I'm like, I just need grease that comes off the ground. Like, help me with that, And
Well,
then
at
they give
least
me,
they had the radio idea down, because I feel like sometimes you get the one guy who's going to walk the entire length of the store with. Can you call someone?
yeah.
Call in a question, call in a favor.
Well, my
Don't-
first one did too. She was on a mission. She goes, "Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about." And then she's like moving all over the store. So we're like playing the aisle to aisle, going between everybody.
You're like
And
the little
finally-
kid following her, and you have no
Yeah.
idea where you're going. Yeah.
Finally, she's like, "I don't know if I can find this thing. Let me go to the computer." Then it was like, phone a friend, and they're all trying to do this whole thing. And then I tried 2 things last night, and both didn't work. And so it was like, whatever. So I'm still stuck with grease.
The one thing I will say, the Home Depot app, when I have to go there, as long as you know what it's called, you can actually look for it in the store and it'll tell you where it's at.
Oh,
Okay, so that's
There you go.
brilliant.
Okay, it's called
not
a
gonna
blinker,
say
you
you are.
moron.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
It's so great. I'm not going to say you're brilliant, but that is brilliant, because I will say they have the phones and the walkie-talkies, and yet they never use them. And I swear they parade you down the aisles ridiculously. Like, look,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to
Well,
follow
that's
her.
what I'm
It's
saying. Like,
like
you're
a
like
game.
running a marathon behind them, and I'm like, can I just stand at register 8 and wait on
Right,
you?
I'll just wait. Bring it back to me. What are we doing? Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, no. Oh, you know what? They moved that because of seasonal." No, I don't know, but I'm trying to keep up. I got these little legs, and you're 7 feet tall, and I'm running with all my stuff in my hands behind you like a dork. Yeah,
that's
I know.
how they talk you into a bigger drill. That's what they do. See,
I'm pretty sure they don't have to talk you into a bigger.
That doesn't require much talking.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
that was like the guy. Where were we at? We got that little drill. Remember? He was like, "Are you sure you want that little drill?"
Yeah, so we had to go get a drill to put the ring in at the Montrose house, Chip. And so we went to the Home Depot in Montrose, and the guy, we're like, we just need a little drill, like a
Yeah.
little tiny, like a kid drill almost. Like we're not really building anything. We're never going to use it. And he's like, well, we've got this, and he's pointing at all the what is it, the not dowel, the DeWalt or
Yeah,
whatever.
the big
$400,
drills.
and I'm like, no, do you have like a little girl drill? I mean, I don't mean to say that because I use the big boy drills, but I'm just saying, like, and he goes, why would you want that? We're like, we're literally putting a screw, one screw. I just need a little tiny thing. He could not even understand that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
like what, $7 versus 40 or something like that for the
maybe
cheapest
14, but it was super cheap. Yeah. And then, like, I don't know about you guys, but when you're doing these projects, Chip still has his project in his garage. You haven't taken that. Did you ever cancel the storage unit or move that stuff finally?
No, it's all still in the garage.
Oh my God.
No
How
answer.
many months?
Since December.
He's had a storage unit since December with stuff he needs to get there, and he's paying the storage unit, and all his stuff is still in the garage that needs.
Wait, empty? It's still empty from December?
Yep, it's completely empty.
Oh my goodness! You're just paying rent.
You could live there, Chip.
Somebody might be living there. You never know.
Yeah, our luck.
it's
Someone's
pretty
living there because someone's always living in our places.
It's pretty dark there. I don't know if I'd want to live there.
Okay, so let me ask this too. Do you see? I live in the middle of nowhere, so nobody sees my garden attire or when I'm like doing stuff in the yard. So I look bad. Do you guys actually care about what you look like when you do yard stuff?
I obviously am way more visible than you are. My neighbor's right on top of me, so I might be more cognizant, but I don't really care per
If
se.
you were talking to me, I'm completely broken up for a second.
I know. I was saying. So when I do gardening or whatever, like I just grab whatever I want because nobody sees me. So it doesn't matter. Like I could care less. I'm not like, hi neighbor, while you're, because let's be honest, when you're gardening and when you're doing some stuff, you are in kind of precarious positions. So I think, when I did gardening back like in the day, I must have lost us. I'll see if he hops back on. When I did gardening back in the day and I was like in Thornton, it was really different about what I cared about, what I looked like, because your neighbor was like literally walk out and you're right there,
Yep.
I don't know if in the middle of nowhere anyone sees. So I was kind of curious at because I know Chip does yard work, but I'm like, do you care what your neighbors see you in? Is that a thing?
Like I said, I think I'm aware of it, but I don't know if I care per se. Like yesterday, I'll give you an example. I had my earbuds in and I was weeding
Just hire out. Next time, they're just telling us to hire out. Just hire out.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Yeah, hiring out's easy, but
Does
yeah,
that
to
mean
your
you
point.
don't do any labor, buddy? Is there nothing? No, I know he's going to be like, of course I do labor. So,
But yeah, to your point, I
No,
was
you
like,
said I love to do yard work, but I'm so busy. I'm actually, Kevin and I were talking about hiring a service for the summer. So,
well, okay, that's just what Allie said. He said, hire somebody. And I'm like, well, I want to do it myself a lot of times.
I don't. When I was
Yeah,
picking
but,
weeds, I was
you
like,
know-
nope, somebody can do this.
there's a special someone in your life I could talk to about how well your do-it-yourself projects go.
You know what? That is a totally different topic. And today is not the day to start that topic because you are lucky I am not in Orange calling one of you wheel me out of prison right now. Let me tell you, I'm holding it together like you would not believe after a few things. But no, because I am a planner. I like to draw everything out. I like to know exactly what I need. And when you do projects with other people and they are not like you, it is very challenging to not end up in a fist fight in the front yard. It was like, do you ever watch Lethal Weapon? The end scene with Mel Gibson and the guy, and they're in the, it's Gary Busey, and they're in the water and it's raining and they're just kicking the crap out of each other. That is the point I was at like 7 o'clock last night. Like if there was rain, I would have totally just been out in the front yard. Well, we don't really have a yard, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so Chip, do you care what you look like when you're out doing that stuff?
No, I'll just throw on because I really don't wear t-shirts. I have to find a crappy t-shirt and a crappy pair of shoes to wear.
So what do you wear? You're just out there in your underwear pulling weeds?
Usually my jock strap, but yeah.
In that
Well,
new
I've been
bathing
an
suit,
even tan.
in that new mankini that we saw the other day.
It cuts down on the tan lines when I'm done. So,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I tend to, again, I don't think about it much. And so I usually have a lot of skin exposed. And then on Saturday, I was like, I'm not out that, like, it was the first real spring project where I was out like all like 48-hour kind of thing. And I fried the crap out of myself.
Oh yeah.
Especially like my backside because of where I was kind of, it was all the back that was exposed. And so bad. Like, and now I'm peeling and then I was miserable. Then like anything I put on was uncomfortable. And then I'm like trying to hold things and like it's touching my shoulder and I don't know. But I see people that when I lived in the suburbs that they would go out and they would garden and they look like they were like getting on a yacht. They're wearing like white pants and a blouse. And I'm like, how are you doing that and not completely, I have like mud on my face. I'm a hot mess.
Wow.
You're cutting out, buddy.
Yeah, I think in you either get that effect or you get the shirtless wonder that you don't want to be seeing, shirtless out doing yard work.
Right?
You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Or we're talking about the classic like cut off t-shirt. Remember we were talking about it last time? You get that. That's the classic yard work.
Those are so bad. That is so, just don't even wear a shirt. Yeah. Chip, are you back now?
I think so.
Yeah, he's just driving.
Yeah. We were just talking about like the people that you would want to see maybe in a tank top, never wear them. And the people, that you don't want to see are out there naked, gardening.
Oh,
Gardening.
Yeah, in tiny shorts they have no business being in, and yeah.
Bringing back the shorty shorts.
Yeah, you're never like, I'm going to take my cocktail and go sit on the porch and watch that person do yard work. You're always like, for the love of Pete, now I have to go in the backyard today.
I feel like for some guys that's like the dad excuse. I can just throw on the old short shorts and the sleeveless shirts and let's go.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
I know myself.
And
I don't wear a shirt because my moves are like two other hands.
You're what?
What?
Did you say your move?
You got 4 hands?
Yeah, my moves.
What did you say?
Like
Your
what? Moves.
Your boobs? Oh, boobs. I thought you said like some other word, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, don't. Well, you and I both have that problem. Oh, you did moves. What is that?
Yeah, man boobs. It's man boobs.
Oh.
You've never heard of boobs?
Oh, moves? I haven't heard of moves.
What is that? I've never even heard of that. Yeah, that's a whole nother problem because then it's like you stand up and you're like every time you got to retuck, and that's a mess. But it's not even worth it anymore.
Moobs.
Moves.
I can't believe y'all have never heard that term.
I haven't heard of
No.
moobs.
No,
I'm
and
saying
I always,
I've heard of moobs out there.
no, pecs, yes, man boobs, no, especially in that term.
I've
But
heard man boobs, yeah, but I've never heard moobs.
yeah, I don't know. And maybe like if you're that person and you're wondering like, should I go out and should I be in the? Just ask someone. I'm sure someone will tell you. Like, no, you should probably just put a t-shirt on. It's okay. This
look in
much
a mirror.
extra material isn't gonna make you sweat out.
Look in a
pretty
mirror.
But, and then do you guys, are you so I will not drink the entire time either. I'll take my cup of coffee out with me to do like work, and then I'll drink like half of it, and then I'll go like, I don't know, 8 hours and I haven't like eaten or drank anything.
I usually bring a drink. That's kind of, I stop and try to.
Because I don't want to stop, because once I stop, I'm afraid I won't go back and finish. So I just want to keep going until like I crash.
I have the other issue of where like you get so dirty that you're like, oh, I don't want to pick that up and drink it, or you know what I mean? Like it's because your hands are dirty or whatever's going on.
Well, I think that's why I don't bring anything out, but I don't understand. I mean, like I don't get that. Like I'm always like, oh, my coffee while I'm surveying my project, and then I put it down, and then again nothing. And
Or
Chip,
it
you
gets too hot.
drink so much. Well, so do you, Drew. Both of you guys drink a lot, water-wise.
Yeah, I'll usually take a bottle of water, or Gatorade, or something out, but then I'm the same way. Like all of a sudden, I'm completely like dehydrated, and I was like, "Why is that bottle just sitting over there? Now it's warm, and nobody wants it." And
Yeah, warm. Yep.
Right? Yeah, and then you got the hose option, which I'm not above. I'll drink out of the hose. I don't care. That's how we grew up. We didn't have like juice
Bottled water.
No, man, our parents were like, "There's a hose. Go turn it on and get a drink."
That is so classic. Yeah.
It
That
was
some
never,
tasted different than others.
oh, especially the first one. It was warm and it tastes like plastic because
Yeah,
that
let it
hose
run.
has been sitting in the sun for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trick is you got to like open it up and let it flow for a little bit before you put your mouth on it, because otherwise it's just going to taste awful. Oh my God. Yeah.
I was just saying, I don't think I ever put my mouth on it, but.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You're on the water. Not...
I'm just gonna let it go. Let it go.
Chip's going to get in an accident.
There's
What
too many
happened,
things
officer?
You're talking about
Well,
mouthing
the
a
one
hose? Like you're trying to get gas out of a car, siphon gas?
No, you're not. No, I'm just saying, but it tastes that way when you put your.
Oh.
That's not what I meant. Yeah, my parents would only let me turn it on just a little bit, so you had to suck it out. You couldn't actually let it. I'm joking.
Oh.
There's thing about that's so funny though. Kids these days don't know what hose water, you know.
No.
Yeah.
No, or the joy of like finishing the project when you were forced to help your parents over the weekend, and then you got to like turn on the sprinklers at the end of it and just like laying in the sprinkler water or running through the sprinkler. I don't see kids running through sprinklers ever anymore.
The
We
little
haven't
ones
turned
I
our
see.
sprinklers on yet, and we're waiting on the company to come out and turn them on. And Kevin couldn't get his hose to work last night.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry you have to take this abuse. Well, I also feel like every year you need to replace your hose because it's worn out and it doesn't work as well.
Sure.
From my experience, it gets overused and then it leaks and it doesn't work and you got to do some maintenance. So.
And it gets all dry.
I'm not even sure I want to know what you just said.
All dry and cracked.
Right? Right? Do you guys remember those slip and slides?
Oh yeah.
The
We had
plastic
those.
sheet. What kind of that? Oh my gosh. Do you remember how many times you got hurt when you were like dive bombing onto that and there was a rock or something hard underneath that plastic? Oh.
Mine was always the ending. The ending was the worst. It was like, where are you going to end at? Because then
You went off that into
Well, because that's right. If you did it enough, it got matted down, so you went further than you anticipated before. You end up on the sidewalk or whatever it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that hurt when you went off.
We had the perfect hill growing up. Like my front yard was kind of level, but then sloped very slowly down to the street, and so it was like perfect for a slip and slide because you kind of started level and then you went down the hill. And like I said, the more wet it got, it was just like you started going further and further on the sidewalk or the street. It was kind of it was gnarly.
Hey Chip, what did you have in the Appalachian Mountains over there with your cousins? What did you use instead of the slip and slide?
We had a slip and slide, thank you very much. But I'm with you. I don't know who invented that and thought it was a good idea to hurl yourself face first onto the ground.
Right? Oh, we did. Now I would think about doing that and I would be like, are you kidding? I would never do that. Oh, but do you remember, Chip, that it was a drinking game we saw that was on slip and slides?
That'd be hilarious.
Do you
Yeah.
remember that video that you
when
sent
they were
me?
playing on slip and slide.
Yeah, you
they
have
set
to
it
like,
up
you,
a baseball
Kickball.
diamond.
Yeah.
it's like baseball. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
someone would like have to hit the ball, but then at your station, you'd have to take a shot and then run to the next one.
Yeah.
And if you made the base, and now that would be kind of fun because they weren't really diving necessarily, but I think the more you drink, the more you'd be willing to dive
Yeah.
and be like, I could do it. But like right now, you know, at what, 8 a.m. in the morning, you'd be like, I'm not diving on that. Are you kidding me?
Have you seen the
Um,
big ones? They roll down the trash bags all the way down like the side, like in the country. They put them all down and they make their own like big courses with those things and see how long you can stay on it. And it's
No,
like
that's
so-
what I was saying. I thought Chip did because I didn't think they had slip and slides out there.
No, sadly, before we had slip and slides, we had big hills on the farm, and we'd lay at the top of the hill in a blanket and roll down the hill on our sides.
Oh, yeah, like tumbling down the hill. Yeah.
Yeah,
You get dizzy.
Oh, that'd be awful. No, that'd be awful.
and just
I would
pray
like-
you don't hit a rock or something in the ground that's going to hurt you.
Because you're not getting first aid back in those days. Like there's a Band-Aid and Neosporin up in the cabinet. Go take care of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
tumbling.
no, you wouldn't even get that. Our grandmother would lock.
I think he's saying his grandmother would lock him out.
I feel like that was like every parent though back then. It was like stay outside.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, don't be in my
right?
house. You know.
You got kicked out constantly. And that it would be because my mom would be like, quit using the screen door. What is it going to
Yeah.
wear out? Has a screen door ever worn out? And yet our parents were like, don't keep coming in and out.
Yeah.
Why? You're letting all the cold air out. Am I really? Because you never turn on the air. So I don't think I really am. Were your parents stingy growing up with air conditioning?
We didn't have air conditioning, so
Oh,
nope,
all right.
nope. We did not. We had fans. We had the fan in the window, like
Yeah, sucking
We
all
were
the
all-
air in.
yeah.
Like Chip.
We weren't even allowed to look in the refrigerator. My stepdad wouldn't even let us look in the refrigerator for too long because he said we were letting
Yep.
the cold out.
My
Yeah.
dad would say that. He goes, you're letting all the penguins out. And I'm like, well, how do I know what's in there? He goes, open it, take a visual picture, shut it, and decide what you want. I'm like,
That was
Are you
him. He was
kidding
like,
me?
you shouldn't take that long to survey the fridge. You should just be able to
yeah,
open the door
he's
and
like,
look and
take a
close it."
visual picture, shut it, and then decide what you want. What? How really? And then I, now as a parent though, or as like an adult, I was thinking about this, like all these projects, the things that are important to me now, I never thought would be important to me at 51. So I'm weeding, right? And I was weeding this barked area. And I have, okay, first of all, who invented gloves? Because they do not fit my hands. I'd be better off with like the plastic kitchen, whatever gloves, because the ends like fold down. I can't grab anything. It's like I'm like in mittens trying to do anything. It's ridiculous. So I pull a weed and like all this bark comes with it, right? Well, I paid for that bark. So now I'm taking my glove off and I'm picking the pieces of bark away
Oh,
from the
Lord.
weed, putting it back in and putting the weed in the bucket. And I'm like, okay, seriously? It's a bag of bark. It's like $4. And yet I'm like,
I was going to
oh
say,
my gosh,
is mulch that expensive?
I don't know, but you know me, I'm like, I can't throw that away. And then I'm digging in the garden and I'm like, the quality of this soil, who thought, like, did you ever think when you were a kid at like 22, you'd be like, I care about garden quality soil?
No.
No. It's
I won't
insane.
spend $3 to transfer money in my bank account. I'll drive around and probably spend $12 in gas.
And I never thought I would care so much about, okay, go ahead, because I know what I'm going to say. I thought about it now. So picking out wood and making sure that it's straight, because you pull them out and they're like all warped and weird, and you're like, that isn't going to stay true or level. And so literally, like, I have 600 pieces of wood on the ground while I'm searching for that perfect piece of wood to take home. It's terrible.
I think there's a book title in there about my life.
But it's true, right? Like, I never knew I'd have the relationship with my leaf blower that I have. But holy cow, I use that
For my
thing
upcoming
every-
memoir.
every morning to clean off my porch because if one leaf gets on my porch, I'm like in a panic. I know why those old men screamed at people to get off their lawn.
Oh yeah, put a lot of work into it.
Right, and then you're like, get off my lawn. What are you doing on my lawn? Don't even look at my lawn. I don't know. Just some of the things that you care about. I just didn't think I would. So.
Things get more annoying as you get older. I think to your point about the screen door, because it just is the and then the in out. I don't think it's about that. What do you just stay in or out? One of the two.
Right. Well, and then I think it's the interruption probably if you think about it back in the day, but I didn't think about it. I'm interrupting them. It really wasn't about us or like, hey, are you okay? Do you need a Band-Aid? It was like, that noise is annoying.
Exactly.
Or you probably came in and went, mom.
Oh, no. They would get upset because we were interrupting their soap operas.
That was a thing back in the day for our moms. My mom, who wouldn't let me watch literally 3 is Company, 8 is Enough, like any of these shows growing up because they weren't good, wholesome shows, watched General Hospital. And when I called her out on it, I still remember this in high school. She said, I'm a nurse and it's a medical show.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Mom. Really? Yeah, I still.
That's a stretch.
Right? Yeah. She's like, I watch it for the medical part. They're not doctors. It's not. ER had better medical.
It's like watching Grey's Anatomy and
right. That probably was more medically accurate than
I used to remember they used to get the little soap book. Remember, like when you're at the grocery store and it was like, let me pull the soap out and let me read the little what happened in the soaps.
I couldn't watch them because they were too long to develop. Every story plot, it took too long to like.
That was like punishment. I think my mom turned them on purpose so we'd leave the house. Like it was just like, oh, no way. They ain't watching that.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. But I was a total tomboy growing up, so I was always outside, and I would always come home bleeding, like almost every single time. I'd fall on my bike, or I can't even walk. Put me on a bike and send me down a hill. That's just not a good thing.
Yeah, that and like splinters. I can't remember time. Like it was always getting splinters from like we used to always climb trees or fences or whatever, and like just you always had something going on.
You should have. So Friday, I had like long, perfect manicured nails, except this one I kind of broke, but then I fixed. Now this one is so low, like that it like hurts to touch. I have no nails anymore. I have a giant bee sting on my arm, or I don't even know what that was. It was like super painful. I'm burnt. I think I'm still like swollen from dehydration. Like 48 hours later, it's amazing. I don't know how, like if you guys work outside, like, people who are construction workers or actually do this for a living, I got to say, like, kudos, man.
Well, I was totally
tough puppies.
I was watching these builders on the way to my house, and it was, what was it, Friday? Maybe it was Friday afternoon. And it was still really warm, and I was watching it, and to your point about, like, you go outside and you get burnt or whatever, and they are completely covered, and they have, like, a rag. It's like, and you think that's counterintuitive, like it's super hot, but you think about it to your point, they're out there every day, all day long, and they can't afford to get burnt and roasted.
But I can't be hot. I get crabby when I'm hot.
Yeah.
Are you guys like that? I get almost mean when I get too hot. I can be cold and I can be whiny, but if I get too hot, I'm not a nice person.
Yeah, the crews that always amaze me are like the roofers when they're laying the hot tar, or the street crews that are out there patching and doing stuff. Like, holy cow! Like,
I feel like at least we're going to get emails or letters, but the roofers can like kneel, or they can kind of sit sometimes when they're doing something. The people like out on the road on the tar, they just stand all the time.
Yep.
I'm not a good stander either. Like can they not have a little chair?
Or the sign? Oh, you mean the sign guys?
Well, when they're out, like, can you not have something you just tuck right underneath your butt cheeks and kind of lean on, like a pogo stick with a little bench thing or whatever, kind of lean against. I don't know. I mean, it has to have a bench, otherwise that would just be uncomfortable. If that, pogo stick. I don't think they'd be doing any jumping. Speaking of, I just watched, and then we'll go. I just watched a YouTube thing. I don't know if you've seen it, where people sit on a bar stool and the thing pokes through. Oh my goodness. How do you not end up in the ER? They show that, and the person like stands up and walks away. And I'm like, that's an ambulance waiting to happen.
I think that's a prank. I think the first one I saw, I thought it was real. Then they started showing it like repetitive. I think it's a prank. Like they purposely set that up, and then At least the ones I saw, it was in a bar or something. And the person just kind of calmly, pretends they get hurt and walks away or whatever. But
Oh,
you know
so
what I
it's
mean?
not real.
Well, there's one or two I think are probably really real, like it happened. But there was a few of them floating around where it was kind of like the bar stool thing where they brought it up,
Yeah.
and then they watched the
'Cause
reaction.
I'm like,
of people.
literally, that's like a surgical repair at that
Oh,
point.
yeah.
You just got impaled with a metal bar, and they just get up and walk off. I'm like, how could you even get up?
Right.
I don't even. You need to be lifted, airlifted off that.
I clearly need to show you a few things.
Well, we're not talking about rebar. Holy cow. Those things are, yeah. Anyway,
Just
I don't know.
breathe. Just breathe.
Just breathe. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I decided this weekend warrior stuff is not for the faint of heart because I'm going to be like sore and tired and cranky now for the next 2 days.
Yeah, and you
Like
still
my
got more to
hands
go.
literally hurt. They just ache. So I don't know.
You still got a lot more to do on that thing.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? It's not even close to being done. And then it's not even the inside that we're talking. So I have a tree that's dying, and I want to cut it down, and I want to use that to put inside of it, but like cut it way down, so like the big branches, so they can roost on those branches. And so I'm like, how hard can that be? I'm thinking like this afternoon, I'll just get the chainsaw. I watch enough of that Alaska show, and they make a little like a wedge. And they yell, so I'll make sure all the cars are gone, and then you're like timber, and then it just shoots down, and then you're fine, right?
Oh boy, we're gonna be in the hospital. We'll be in the hospital.
If that pork protection, have you ever watched that one? There's like this old, I think her name is Mary, and she does not always seem super smart. No offense, Mary, but sometimes the way she approaches a project, I just go, I don't even know what you're thinking. If she can do it in the middle of nowhere by herself, I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. Right? Because you make the angle that way so the tree goes the way you want it to go.
You might want to research it.
Google it. If you want to come over and take down my tree.
You might cut the wrong way and it falls the wrong
I
way.
better show you how to handle your wood.
It's a big piece of wood. Just bring your medic bag, please.
Oh, God. I'll just call 911. It'll take an hour to get to your house, but
It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a 30, right? Call them in advance. Hey, just so you know, she's cutting down a tree. It's like a 30-foot, 40-foot tree. I have no idea. It's the one
Oh,
in,
Lord.
I did.
you know, the one
I've
in my
been watching-
driveway? It's that one. It's
I've
the
been
one in my
watching Life
driveway.
Below Zero, and I'm addicted to it. All of a sudden, there's like 16 seasons, so I've got a lot to
Right?
watch.
That's what I've been
And-
watching, and I feel inspired.
What is it?
The guy cut
Life
down
Below
a tree
Zero.
and made a tree bridge the other day, and yeah, like he
Right.
was very specific. Like he cut 2 logs first, carved out a notch for it to sit in, so
Yes.
it doesn't roll around, and then cut the front and then cut the back and wedged it in there and pushed it over. And
Right. And I have watched enough Chainsaw Massacre and horror movies with chainsaws that I know you never let go of your chainsaw. That's how
well,
things
and
happen.
he did all of that with an axe. He didn't even use a chainsaw.
I am not doing it with an axe. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
I want you to set your camera up so we can watch you operate a chainsaw. That'll be part of the show.
You know, that could be a podcast. We could do a live podcast cutting down
right.
a tree and see how that goes. But we need the 3 of us to do it then. But I would need the medic bag just in case.
That's
but-
right.
Yeah, I don't know. So, well, anyway, I just thought of weekend warrior project stuff, and I was like, I'm just curious if I'm the only one, but apparently I'm not. So, but tomorrow we will talk about bad drivers. Are you one?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know. Just saying. Cops have a really bad reputation for driving aggressively, you know.
You've ridden with me. I'm not aggressive.
I'm just saying. I think I drive kind of aggressive too. I drive fast. I don't want to be around people. I want to be in the middle. But we could talk about that tomorrow. Chip is an aggressive driver too. He's like you, Drew. You both drive kind of the same. Is that maybe that's a first responder thing? We'll talk about it tomorrow.
There you go.
All right. Well, we hope you have a great day. We'll see you.